Good evening everyone, this is Engineer Pat 5290 coming to you with a how-to video talking about the how-tos for rail fanning. I'm sure some of you out there are new to the hobby and want to maybe start taking pictures and videos of trains. And I want to say I'm glad some of you may have found a new interest, or maybe the experience you guys want to have a little bit of a refresher. In this video we'll be talking a little bit about the equipment you can use, the merchandise you can get, and some of the safety rules we should follow. So first of all, we're going to get started into the cameras and radios that you can use. I know a lot of guys are thinking, what's out there on the market? Is there something good that we can use? Well, first thing you need is a good camera. And one of the best cameras you can use that's actually you carry with you all the time is your cell phone. That's a great way to take stills. I simply use my Apple iPhone 5S. It's pretty old. It's about 4 or 5 years old now, but it does work. Apple is good. The quality in them is good. If you don't use Apple, it's obviously Samsung. That's out there. LG is out there, but Apple and Samsung are very good when it comes to quality. So you can definitely take stills with your cell phone, and with that you can easily post them to social media, whatever you have, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of those. So the cell phone is a great handy tool. And now when it comes to camcorders, when you want to take some movies, there are some really good camcorders out there. And the one I'm going to show you on my computer screen is the one I'm recording with. It is the Canon R800. And that's the way it looks right there. This is the camera I am currently using. I used to use the Canon R600. That recently went bad, and this is the upgraded version of the R600. It's basically the same camera with just a couple of minor upgrades to it. The quality in this camera is very nice, and this is a really good camera that most rail fans can use. This is a really good camera, and I have been satisfied with it now for a few days. So I've not had this camera very long, but I am very happy with this camera. So, the next thing I would like to talk about are the radios. You're probably thinking, what radios are out there? Well, there's one brand that I have recently gotten used to, and it's this brand. It's called Yaesu. This is the FT25. I was inspired to get one of these from Class J Video Productions. That's one of my good friends who actually helped me understand a lot about the radios and the cameras. The Yaesu FT25 is a really good radio. The range on it is pretty good. It has a really good range in it. You can get, it has the stock antenna that comes with it, or you can actually get a whip antenna if you want. A lot of people ask me, are the whip antennas pretty good? They are, but sometimes they get kind of tangled up sometimes when you clip it to the sun visor of your car, or sometimes it may get you poked in the eye or something like that. But both of which get really good range. I use the stock antenna a lot, and I even have a whip antenna as well for it. So it has a SMA female connector to it, I believe. And you can easily get these off Amazon. I mean, they get really good deals on them with Amazon, and plus you can get all the parts you need for this radio off Amazon. Really good source when it comes to that. So in the next part we will be going over the merchandise that you can get when it comes to rail fanning. So stay tuned for part 2. Hey you guys, welcome to part 2 of this series talking about the merchandise that you can get when you start rail fanning. As you can see, I have a couple displays here on the couch. I'm actually wearing an example myself. This is my Western Maryland shirt that I got at the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad a few years ago. And here on the sofa, I do have a couple of good examples. I have the Norfolk Southern shirt. Let me move that hat real quick. The Norfolk Southern shirt on the right side of the camera. It's my left. And on the other side, I have the Union Pacific 4141 shirt. Depends on what rail line that you're filling. You can get rail merchandise relating to the rail line that you film. I collect some Norfolk Southern every once in a while. I have a little bit of CSX and a little bit of Union Pacific. There's even fallen flag shirts out there like Southern, Norfolk and Western, Burlington Northern. There's plenty of them for Santa Fe. There are a lot of good shirts and hats that you can get, and you're probably wondering, where can you get all these? Well, I do have a few sources that you can get things from. You can get them off of eBay. You can obviously get them off Amazon, Schrader's Railroad Catalog, and Daylight Sales. And even A-Trains is a really good source as well. You can actually order some shirts from them from their website, or you can get some through Amazon. With Daylight Sales and A-Trains, you can get them through Amazon. Schrader's you can get out of the catalog that you get in the mail, or you can get it off of their website. All those sources are really good. With Amazon, some of that stuff you can get Prime on it for like radio parts and things like that. Now, for some of these items, you may or may not be able to get Prime on it. So, the sources I've been able to get for this stuff has been pretty good. If it's Amazon and all these other places, they try to get your order out in a relatively decent manner. I strongly recommend those sources, and whenever you're rail fan that line, put your merchandise on. The train crews love it when you wear that stuff, man. It just shows them that you're very supportive of their company and supportive of what they do out there, because the train crews actually have a very heavy responsibility. Wave to them. Give them a nice little wave. Give them a thumbs up. Throw a peace sign. Ask them to honk the horn for you. If they see you wearing the merchandise, they're going to love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part. In part 3, we will be going over the safety tips along railroad rights-of-way. So I look forward to seeing you in part 3. Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of this series. I hope you guys enjoyed parts 1 and 2 on the topics we covered today. And I hope for all of you new beginners, you learned a lot about the equipment that's used in the rail fanning hobby. And one other thing I did not mention is, once you get all of your photos and videos together, you probably wonder what you need to do with them. Well, what you can do is, you can import them to your desktop and use a movie making software. I do recommend some brands for that. For computers, I definitely recommend Apple. Apple is great. The Photos app is excellent, where you can import your videos, and then you can save them and you can watch the videos and obviously look at your pictures. And editing software for the photos is actually built into the Photos app, and I have used that on some of my photos, and it does an excellent job. So I definitely recommend that. Now, for movie making software, there's only one name that sticks out in my mind: iMovie. iMovie is the best of the best. A lot of people ask, is Windows Movie Maker pretty good? It is decent, but I didn't have good luck with it because it just kept dragging in some spots. But with iMovie, it never drags. The movie making software that Apple has, iMovie as a matter of fact, they actually do a wonderful job of keeping it updated and always coming out with new features. A lot of good transition effects that you can add. There's title effects you can add. And I'll also explain about marketing a YouTube channel in one of my earlier videos. I strongly recommend you look at that, but I will put that one on the end screen. But I strongly encourage you to start a YouTube channel. I'll give you a little bit of background on that. A YouTube channel is great, where you can share your videos and build an audience. You can build an audience for rail fans. You can even do it for trucks. But I will be saving that discussion for that video. So if you haven't looked at that clip, that little video there, please do so, because it's a really good video to help new YouTubers get started. So that's a little bit on the equipment side of getting the photos and the movies made. I want to talk about some of the rules about rail fan. I know it's a fun hobby, but it's also a dangerous hobby at the same time. There are some rules that we should all follow. The first rule is, don't go rail fanning alone. Go with an adult or a few friends. And go somewhere where you know is safe and you need help. You can get help if you need it. Tell people where you're going to go and what time you will return. That's important, because you don't want people worrying where you are at a certain amount of time. When you go as a group, it's a lot better, because you get to talk about trains, talk about what happened today or what's going on with the rail world. And plus, one thing you can always top off with is food. Go somewhere where you have a nice meal when there's not a lot of trains. Get a nice hot meal, have a nice social time, and even top it off with ice cream, pie, or cake. Let me tell y'all, it's the icing on the cake. Anything with dessert tops everything off. And and that's always good there. And some other points I want to follow is don't stand too close to the railroad tracks. Keep yourself a safe distance from the nearest rail to keep anything from flying up and hitting you and possibly getting you killed. The train crews have a heavy responsibility. If an accident happens with a person or a car with people in it, it's a burden on the train crews. So please be mindful of that. Another rule that I wanted to mention is be aware of your surroundings. If you are somewhere and something doesn't feel right, the best thing you can do is just pack up your things and leave. If you don't feel right, get someone to call 911. Get paramedics out there to make sure that they're okay. That's another thing too, because having this be important. Safety is the #1 priority on just about anything, whether it's building a project in the wood shop, or even just going on a rail fanning trip, or just even going on a very nice trip with your family, or even your local scout troop. I'm a proud Eagle Scout, and that's why I mentioned that. So the safety is the #1 priority in everything that you do. I certainly take this lesson very, very seriously. During the summertime, please keep your body hydrated with water. Make sure you take some food out there. So maybe some longer times where you won't be able to eat. So I always encourage, get cold water or something cold in the summertime. Make sure you have plenty of food with you. If you're going to be out there for a long period of time, pack lunch and take it out there. Get a big cooler, put some food in it, make sandwiches, pack chips and cookies and whatever you want. And what I recommend you do is freeze water bottles to use as ice packs. And it actually does work. Get a whole big pack of water, freeze some in the freezer, keep some cold in the refrigerator, put it in there the next morning, then you can go. I actually tried that out this past summer, and it does work. So I strongly recommend you doing that, because I think that's really good. And please remember to share your stuff with other rail fans, because somebody may accidentally forget to pack. Some people may run short. But as always, share. And another lesson I can give you is be a good listener. You will learn more by listening than talking. Have a good conversation with someone, whether it's a certain rail line or a certain locomotive. Have a good conversation. But I will leave you with a few final tips. Have some fun out there. Be observant around you. Observe all of your surroundings. And I realized this a long time ago, that rail fanning is just not about watching trains. It is in some ways, but in the long run, rail fanning is being together with friends, having good friendship and fellowship about railroads, how the railroads are doing, what locomotives are coming out. It's all about friendship and fellowship. And you will make friends in this hobby. I've certainly made a lot of friends in the past 7 or 8 years since I've done this. And with my YouTube channel, I've actually been able to make some mutual friends through that. Talking about the different the different railroads. Being active in the Q&As that I normally do. And a lot of other ways you can stay active with rail fanning community. It's all about helping each other. Be a source of help. Be a source of inspiration. If someone is not sure on something, take the time to research it and reply to a comment. If you're talking to somebody and you're not sure about something, ask someone that does. A good leader asks questions. And even a good rail fan asks questions. And somebody who wants to learn will do more listening. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the how-tos for rail fan. I hope this video was of some help. If you have any questions about any of the stuff I covered today, please leave me a comment in the description box. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm Engineer Pat 5290, and I look forward to seeing you on the next rail adventure. Happy rail fanning, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you on the rails. Be safe out there, and may God bless.